Hello, I want to talk today about 3 more TED videos I watched last night on the web. One of them is it's from Pail Pholeros, who is an Australian guy talking about how to reduce poverty in Australia and nearby countries. So his vision was to instead of focusing on the disease itself, is to focus on the environment and change the environment so they wouldn't get sick, people will not get sick. And how he did this was urban low-income areas. He would help them build toilets or environments where there would be less dust and more water that can wash themselves. And just by doing that, changing the environment, he managed to bring up the efficiency of illness. What I liked about Pail Pholeros is that he was very clear and precise on his subject. He did not use comedy as other people used comedy, which I like a lot, but he was really accurate in his information. He did use hand movements, which I liked a lot, and other than that, he was pretty slow. I mean, if the subject was less interesting, then it would be, I would fall asleep. I also watched a Saudi Arabia woman called Manal, al-Sharif, and she was a lady who drove a car in Saudi Arabia, which is culturally unacceptable, and she drove a car and went to prison for 9 days. But she did it anyway because there's no written law that a Saudi Arabia woman cannot drive. So she was a good example for a Saudi Arabia woman to take the wheel and go against what people think superstitiously and drive a car. And what I liked about her speech was, of course she had an accent, but her English was superior, and she used dialogues about her and other people, her and her son, and that made it very interesting to hear. The funny thing about that is that why women were not allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia was because this old professor made a research that he figured out that women driving cars are more likely to be prostitutes or to not be married or to have kids other than their own. So it's a very bad research. So her main goal was to make Saudi Arabia feel free, to be a free country. If it's not a free country, then if the women are not free, then the country's not free. Hi. The last person I looked at was Leslie Chang, and she talked about Chinese workers, how they do, how workers in China making everything we buy are different than workers in other countries who connect with the product. She wanted to explain or inform us that workers in China do not all have different feelings, and a lot of them are very ambitious. People who are coming from not educated families seek their own work and their own education after they're in factories and all these situations. So that was an interesting talk. What I liked about Leslie was she could cram a lot of information into very small sentences. So everything she said was extremely informative. You have to keep your ears open because you would miss a lot of information. Yeah, she could use very sophisticated words and deep analysis to explain the Chinese workers and her experience with some of them. Thank you.